Good morning. I'm Hassan Giordano, and this is your DMV Daily Dose for Monday, March 16th, 2020.
It's currently clear and 37 degrees in Baltimore. Expect mostly cloudy skies starting in the morning. Today's high will be 51 degrees, and the low will be 35.
By a 60-vote difference, 1,019 for versus 959 against, the NFL players have voted to approve ratification of the new collective bargaining agreement, which will include an extra regular season game starting during the 2021 season, expand the playoff field to 14 teams with only the number one seed receiving a first-round bye starting this season, while increasing player revenue shares by 1.85%. And as free agency starts today, the Baltimore Ravens have agreed in principle to acquire Jacksonville Jaguars star defensive end Calais Campbell in a trade that will send Jacksonville a 2020 fifth-round pick, a source with knowledge of the situation confirmed on Sunday. Now, Campbell, who's 33 years old, was due a $15 million base salary this season, the last year of his Jaguars contract. But the Ravens swooped in, finalizing a new 2-year deal through 2021 worth $27 million, including $20 million guaranteed, according to the NFL Network, along with ESPN. Now, on Friday, the Ravens designated Pro Bowl outside linebacker Matthew Judon with the franchise tag, keeping him from reaching free agency. Now they've added another disruptive front seven defender with the signing of Campbell, a 6'8", 300-pound defensive end who graded out as the NFL's second-best edge defender last season, according to Pro Football Focus. Made his third straight Pro Bowl and fifth in 6 seasons after posting 6.5 sacks, 25 quarterback hits, and 10 tackles for loss. Now the Baltimore Sun's reporting Howard County and Loyola University, Maryland, reported their first cases of the new coronavirus. Statewide numbers continued to climb, and casinos, racetracks, and even a local mall were ordered closed Sunday as officials let the public know that business as usual was no longer an option. The actions were a part of a dizzying day of updates and edicts, as the total number of confirmed cases in Maryland rose to at least 32, 6 more than the day earlier. Across the state, officials from multiple agencies work to stem the dangerous virus that's spreading at an increasingly alarming rate. Governor Larry Hogan issued a forceful reminder to bar owners ahead of tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day that large gatherings were outlawed and violators would be punished. The state previously banned gatherings of more than 250 people this past Thursday in response to the first case of the virus spreading in the community instead of occurring in someone who had traveled. And according to DMV Daily News, Governor Hogan also shut down all state casinos and racetracks until further notice, a place that had once been exempt from that list of shuttered businesses with large gatherings. The casinos, which now face fines if they remain open, attempted to head off such steps Saturday by announcing plans to reduce their capacity by 50%. The casinos could not be reached for comment. Now, the actions, as the Maryland Health Department reported, that there are now 31 confirmed cases of the coronavirus statewide, which is up 5 from Saturday. The state's numbers did not include the Howard County case, which Health County officials announced in the afternoon. The state offered no details about the 5 new cases other than what counties they occurred in. Now, Maryland Matters was reporting that the presiding officers of the Maryland General Assembly on Sunday said that the legislature will adjourn this Wednesday due to the outbreak of COVID-19, the coronavirus, also almost 3 weeks earlier than previously scheduled. It will be the first time that the legislature has adjourned early since the Civil War. The session was supposed to run through April 6th. The decision to adjourn didn't come lightly, said both House Speaker Adrian Jones and Senate President Bill Ferguson in a news conference in the Miller Senate Office Building. Legislative leaders said working for 3.5 more days would enable lawmakers to focus on must-pass legislation, like the operating capital budgets and an emergency bill to guide how the state will operate during this crisis. But it would also allow them to work on other priorities like major education reform legislation and a plan to provide more funding for the state's 4 HBCUs. In a sign of bipartisan cooperation, House Minority Leader Nicholas Kipke, a Republican from Anne Arundel County, and Senate Minority Leader J.B. Jennings, a Republican from Harford County, also spoke at the news conference and expressed their support for the early departure. The presiding officer said that they expected to return to Annapolis for a special session during the final week of May to tie up loose ends. Now, the House and Senate shuffled quickly into session immediately after the leaders' news conference. In the House, lawmakers voted several times to change the chamber's rules to allow second and third reading votes on Senate bills during the same floor session. While the maneuver allowed several bills to reach final passage in the House, most of them contained amendments that could require further negotiation in the Senate. Now, one more unpopular bill passed through the House this weekend, which places a sales tax on professions such as PR, lobbying, and telemarketing services as a part of a tax package aimed at paying for the increased funding of the proposed Kirwan Commission education legislation. However, Maryland's chief tax collector implored state lawmakers to delay actions on any revenue measures, saying that a looming recession or worse make this a dangerous time to add to the tax burden businesses and consumers face. Comptroller Peter Franchos warned that Maryland faces not just a recession, but a possible depression due to the spread of COVID-19. The expected downturn in economic activity triggered by the disease could take a 20% bite out of revenues this year alone, he predicted. Quote, this is precisely the wrong time to be imposing higher taxes on the state of Maryland's businesses and or individuals. I cannot emphasize that enough. Well, the Baltimore Sun is reporting on an irate passenger who stepped off a city bus Saturday night, turned back, and fired a shot into the chest of the bus driver he had been arguing with, Baltimore police have reported. Police found 30-year-old MTA driver around 10:40 p.m. in the 2500 block of Washington Boulevard. He was transported to an area hospital as in serious condition. Southwestern District detectives say that the driver got into a verbal dispute with the suspect. The shooter asked to be let off the bus, and the driver obliged, dropping him off at the next scheduled stop. After the shooting, the suspect ran away, and police have not found them. Now, it's been a busy night in Baltimore. Around 4:25 Sunday morning, police found a 64-year-old man who had been shot multiple times in the 1300 block of Woodington Road next to Lincoln Park in West Baltimore's Emerson neighborhood. He died shortly thereafter at the University of Maryland Shock Trauma Medical Center. Late Saturday, a 50-year-old man was shot in the head at the 6200 block of Ricestown Road, Northwest Baltimore. When police arrived, they found him conscious and alert and took him to a local hospital. He is in serious but stable condition and expected to survive. And around 1:14 Sunday morning, officers from the Eastern District found a 20-year-old man who had been shot in the shoulder in the 1900 block of East Lafayette Street in East Baltimore's Broadway East neighborhood. He was taken to the hospital and his injuries are not life-threatening. There have been 58 reported homicides in Baltimore City, 76 days into the new year. And in case you missed it, the Register of Wills for Baltimore City has now gone to an appointment-only process of serving the public during this corona pandemic. Register of Wills Belinda Conway issued a media advisory late Thursday informing the public that patrons looking to file their will at the city's offices or open an estate following the death of a loved one would either be able to do so online or would have to make an appointment first before coming to the downtown offices, which is located in the old post office circuit courthouses across the street from the Clarence Mitchell Courthouse. She asked folks to first try to do their business online at the website www.registers.maryland.gov. Or, if they can't do it online, call their offices to schedule an appointment at 410-752-5131. She has extended her staff's hours to be open to the public from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. I'm your man, Mr. Politics, and this has been your DMV Daily Dose for Monday, March 16th, 2020. For more information on the articles that I've mentioned, just go on over to that website at www.DMVDailyNews.